What happens when a woman who's quietly held the royal family together decides to step away from the spotlight? And what if the person she chooses to continue her legacy is someone who's just returned from one of the most challenging chapters of her life? In June 2025, during a glittering state banquet filled with dignitaries from across the globe, something far more powerful than diplomacy took place. Something deeply personal, deeply symbolic, and entirely unexpected. It wasn't just about a royal announcement. It was about strength, legacy, and the subtle transfer of power from one remarkable woman to another. Princess Anne has always been known as the backbone of the British monarchy. For over 50 years, she stood firm, dedicated, and tireless, often described as the hardest-working royal. She never sought the limelight, yet she earned the quiet respect of millions through her sheer commitment. So, when she stood at that banquet in a graceful navy gown and calmly declared her retirement from royal duties, it was as if time paused. The guests may have anticipated formalities, but what they witnessed was a historic moment. And, with her signature mix of grace and steel, passed the torch to someone who, not long ago, had been fighting for her own life. Catherine, Princess of Wales. Anne's choice wasn't random. It was thoughtful, symbolic, and rooted in admiration. She saw in Catherine the same qualities that defined her own service: strength, humility, bravery, and an unwavering sense of duty. For Anne, this decision wasn't just about finding a replacement. It was about ensuring the values she upheld would live on in someone capable of not only bearing the weight of royal responsibility, but transforming it into something new and meaningful. The announcement was short and simple, but beneath its surface, it marked a generational shift, a quiet evolution in the royal family's identity. Anne's legacy is immense. As the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, she often had to fight harder for recognition in a space largely shaped by men. She carved her place not through title, but through action, representing the UK globally, engaging in thousands of charitable events, and even competing in the Olympics as an equestrian. She faced heartbreaks and setbacks, most recently her horse riding accident in 2024 and a difficult divorce earlier in life, but never let personal pain interfere with her responsibilities. Her service was selfless, unglamorous, and consistent. And when her brother, King Charles, was diagnosed with cancer, she quietly stepped in as a steady anchor. While Charles battled both physical and emotional struggles and remained by his side, not loudly, not publicly, but meaningfully. She didn't need cameras to prove her care. Her strength came through subtle acts, rearranging schedules, checking in when no one else could, taking on extra duties without a word of complaint. Her presence gave the king peace of mind and the royal family a sense of stability during one of their most fragile times. She made sure everything continued as smoothly as possible, not just for appearances, but for the well-being of those she loved, and understood that true leadership often means standing strong when others cannot. She also played a crucial role in holding the family together. Through gentle guidance, emotional availability, and firm but kind leadership, she kept everyone from the younger royals to the extended relatives connected. Her support was quiet, but powerful. Her influence was not about control, but care. And as her retirement approached, she didn't just disappear. She planned, she guided, and she prepared. Most importantly, she chose someone she deeply respected to take her place, not out of duty, but out of trust. Catherine's own story added a powerful layer to this moment. In March 2024, she announced her cancer diagnosis, a revelation that shook the public and deeply impacted the royal family. She stepped back from royal life, choosing to focus on healing. It was a time of uncertainty. But from the shadows of that experience, Catherine emerged not just as a survivor, but as a transformed figure. Her battle with cancer didn't just affect her physically. It reshaped her perspective, her priorities, and her understanding of her role. When she re-entered public life later that year, it was with clarity and strength. She was different, not weaker, but wiser. Her appearances were meaningful and carefully chosen. Each one reflected thoughtfulness and a deeper connection to the people she served. She missed the royal ascot that June, just days before the banquet, prioritizing her health over tradition. And far from disappointing the public, it made her more relatable. She showed that strength isn't about always showing up, it's about knowing when you need rest and having the courage to take it. It's no wonder Anne saw herself in Catherine. Despite their differences in age and personality, both women share a rare kind of integrity. They work without complaint, lead without ego, and carry their roles with deep sincerity. When Anne stood up at that state banquet and named Catherine as her successor, it wasn't just an announcement. It was a symbol of hope, a bridge between generations, a message that service, when done right, transcends time, illness, and even retirement. This transfer of responsibility wasn't just about who would take over which duties. It was about shared values, about continuity in a world where change often feels relentless. The public response was telling. People saw in Catherine the same quiet strength they had long admired in Anne. They respected how both women handle hardship with grace. And in this transition, they saw not just the future of the monarchy, but a reflection of their own struggles and hopes. The broader royal family was also deeply impacted by this shift. With King Charles still recovering, the burden of public expectation had to be shared wisely. Anne's choice allowed the monarchy to move forward with confidence. Catherine, having walked through the fire of illness and emerged stronger, was ready, not only because of what she'd endured, but because of how she'd chosen to grow from it. She brought with her a fresh understanding of compassion, a commitment to emotional authenticity, and a renewed dedication to meaningful work. And perhaps that is what made this moment so powerful. It wasn't dramatic or loud. It was graceful, thoughtful, real. A banquet meant to honor international diplomacy became the backdrop to a deeply human moment. One royal saying goodbye, another stepping up. A family showing that behind the formality, there are people who care, who hurt, who heal, and who still believe in the value of service. As Anne quietly steps into the background, her influence remains. The monarchy is stronger because of her. And Catherine's rise isn't just a result of titles or tradition, it's a reflection of who she has become. The strength she showed in her private battles now shines in her public role. She has nothing to prove and everything to give. And with Anne's quiet endorsement, she begins this new chapter with the support and belief of someone who knows what true royal service demands. In a world that often rewards noise and spectacle, this moment reminded us of the power of quiet leadership, of consistency, of inner strength. Princess Anne has given decades of herself to a life of duty. And now, she steps away not because she's tired, but because she knows the time is right, and the person stepping in is ready. Catherine, in her renewed light, carries the torch not just with honor, but with purpose. And that might be exactly what the royal family and the world needs right now. If you found this story moving, or if you followed the quiet strength of Princess and the inspiring resilience of Princess Catherine, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heartfelt royal stories. Thanks for watching.